Hello, everybody. Who's on with us today? Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in the world. This is Dondi. I'm Dondi, and I'm here with Donna and David. And Carrie and Karen are going to help us with this Foundations webinar. It's a webinar for you, the Foundation students, to ask questions, and we will answer them, or Mom and David will answer them. I'm just here to help and to host. So let me get you oriented with your screen a little bit. Look for a Q&A box. That's what it will say. Q&A. It stands for questions and answers. It's usually down below. Type in. Click on that box. Type in who you are, where you're from, and I'll see who's with us, and I'll know that people are actually seeing our faces and hearing our voices. Who's with us today? Q&A. Go to the little box. It's usually below. Here you come. We have Marie Algren. Hello, Marie. Rocky from Luxembourg. I hope I said Rocky correctly. I hope I'm not butchering your name. Luxembourg is in the house. Anne Brockman from Seattle. Kathleen from Michigan. Christy. Hi, Christy from Florida. Love you, Christy. Leanne from Denmark and Sweden, yay!
Nobody can see us.
Sarah from London, Laura from Maryland, Hazel from England, hello Hazel, hello Key Largo, Angela, Michelle Ernest, our Director of Education, is with us today. We have Katya from London, Caroline, Stockholm, Sweden is all over the place. Well, you've got to know I'm Swedish. Dondi Dahlin is my last name. So happy Sweden is here. Hello, Portland, Oregon, the coolest place in America, or so everybody thinks. San Diego is pretty cool too. And that's where we're coming to you from today. And we're so happy you're here. So many of you have already gone through your first year of Foundations, but there are maybe 2 or 3 classes out there who still are going into their class 4, your last class. So we're excited for you. I have a big stack of questions here, and we're going to get started right away. We'll be with you about an hour today. Donna and David are live. Thank you, everybody, for signing in. We see you, Biddy. We see you, Jennifer. Another one from Sweden. Wow. And Anna from Sweden. Anna, I'm not sure how to say your last name. Rita Maki Skjoldrund. That's my try. That's my best guess. Here we go with our first question. But before we do, we want to introduce Donna and David. Hi, Mom and David. Say hello to your Foundation students.
Hi, everybody. Hi. We're really happy to be here. We're so eager to answer questions and just connect with you.
That's exciting because for the most part, we don't know you. We've never met you. We know what you've gone through. We know what you've chosen to put into your own life, what you've chosen to put into your, what you're putting your time into, what you're putting your, choosing to learn. So we feel a connection with you in that way, even though we've not met you, and we're really glad to have this opportunity to have some more direct connection.
Absolutely.
Through your questions and curiosity.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, many more people have joined us. We have one of our brand new faculty members, Joao from Portugal. Hi, Joao. We have Stephanie from Switzerland. And we have another San Diegan with us, and that's where we are today. And our first question is coming from Finland, I believe. I think she took Foundations in Sweden. This is from Anna. And she says to Donna and David, can you give me an example of a situation when knowing about the 7 chambers of the throat chakra have been useful to you?
Oh, yeah, that's an easy one because I see it so often when somebody is, you know, going through their issues in life and they get amazing insight, but maybe it's from 1 chakra or 2 or 3 chakras, but it's not from all of them. And when you've opened up all the chambers on the throat chakra, you begin to have that information from other chakras come up and give you give you insight and understanding, and move you through all the values that you want to have in life. It's good.
So for instance, if the power chakra, the third chakra, is really strong, but the chamber to the power chakra is closed off, then you have that impulse for expressing that power, that I am in the world, but you're not able to express it. So you have the impulse, but it's blocked off, so it doesn't come out. So that becomes a problem for you. So that's an example, and understanding that and opening that that chamber is an example of how it can be really useful to have had that information.
Excellent, thank you. So I think we'll stick with the chakra topic for a moment. And just to let you all know, you all sent in some complex and long questions. So I'm going to ask Mom and David to really listen to this one. This is from Biddy, and Biddy took class with Maddie King at Wotan House. She says, Donna, you see more than the rainbow colors traditionally associated with the chakras. I can see that some of this might come from the movement of different vibrational energy moving within the different chakra layers as energy moves in and out of the chakras. And I also understand that there will be movement from the crown and the root spiral, which will affect the colors, and also the side-to-side movement of energy between adjacent chakras. But do you think that our ancestors had much simpler chakra systems, and that they were indeed distinctly red, orange, yellow, etc. when first described? And now we carry so much more ancestral energy, and we lead such complicated lives full of new wisdom that the chakras are less distinctive in being a singular vibration and thus single color than previously?
Wow, Biddy, wow, that was a question. You know, I think I'm divided. A part of me believes that, I used to think that at earlier times it must have been more distinct, but I don't quite think that anymore, because the way energy moves, I mean, we're all influenced constantly by other people, by our environment, everything we go through. And I can just imagine somebody, you know, 4,000 years ago. Well, for instance, I just saw a special on television about, Donnie, what's the name of that town in Jordan?
Petra.
About Petra. And it was astonishing to watch, because you realized how brilliant these people were, how spiritual they were, how rich they were. They had all of these qualities that made them feel that society would go on for forever. And I can only believe that they had very complex colors and energies in each chakra. I actually don't think that it's see, I don't remember the word I heard you say, Donnie, but there's a word. Do you think that they were more da-da-da than they are now? Do you remember? Can you find that word? No.
No.
That's all right. I actually think that all of this complexity of all of the colors is because I think it's a good thing. It's not only are we influencing our chakras as we evolve and move forward, our chakras influence us and impact us, and the more nuances and the more variations on color, and all color is the light spectrum broken down. So of course we're getting more and more. And another thing is, I know this to be true, that energy is speeding up right now. It is really speeding up. Actually, so, some information that came out on CNN, so you know it's true. But I know this is true. That what is it called? But anyway, the vibration of the Earth and its measurements have speeded up. It's going much faster than it once did, and it's happening with all of us in our environments. It's just all of those nuances of color and vibrations are simply a representation of all of that.
So to sum that up, 4,000 years ago, we were more complex than we might think. 4,000 years ago, we didn't have all the distractions, all the technology, our lives were much simpler in terms of how much information we had to process day to day. And so in that way, the chakras were probably less complex, less, there was less going on. However, that does not translate back to the traditional primary colors. Donna simply does not see those patterns in the chakra. She understands them. Somebody just got this idea of, wouldn't it be cool to take the rainbow and put the rainbow colors, see how they correspond with the chakras. It was a brilliant conceptual move, but it's not the way that Donna sees it. So, so the answer is that yes, we are our chakra colors, which are vibrations, are more complex than they were, but that doesn't, if we go back 10,000 years, it doesn't mean that it's the traditional colors that red at the bottom and purple at the top.
Thank you. In a moment, we're going to move on to irregular, reactive, and frozen energies, because that was a really big question this time. But before we leave chakras, we had a question come in from Ida Benz, and very simply, Ida is hoping that you could just say some of the main differences between the aura and the chakras in terms of information that they provide.
Oh, yes. Let's see. The chakras, first of all, the chakras are always interacting with meridians, with radiant circuits, with all of the energies that flow inside of you. It is true that as the chakras get clear, they move out into the aura, but they're quite different than the aura. They, the aura, each band has a different meaning and information in every band that is quite, I mean, they're so different. One
of the primary differences is that the chakras carry information about your past.
Yes.
And the aura is here and now. It may carry patterns that are lifelong, such as the life colors, but it's how it's impacting you here and now. The chakras are a record book of your personal past, your ancestral past, your past lives. It's all there in the chakras, and including recent information. So it's more of a library, whereas the aura is a very living energy system that impacts you.
Yes, and you impact it. That was said really, really well. I just want to say one more thing. That's body, mind, spirit, every which way of what you carry. You know, your old illnesses show up in your chakra. Your old emotional stuff that you've gone through show up in your chakras. All of those things show up. And yes, they're an encyclopedia of you, personally you, which is another reason why you cannot possibly have those traditional colors that they think of red up to purple. Can't possibly. It's like our energies are as unique as a thumbprint. And so your energies, of course, are different than everybody. And that is true of 4,000 years ago, too.
Your chakrapedia is very complex.
Chakrapedia.
Excellent. We're going to move on to a big topic, and it's been very popular with this webinar. Several people asked about frozen, irregular, and reactive energies. So Els Botman and also Gina Sager and several others asked to please clearly explain and simply explain the difference between irregular, frozen, reactive energies.
All right. First of all, irregular is like the title, and all the others are subtitles. You know, it's broken down into frozen and all of the others, or submerged.
Irregular is the category.
Yeah, they're all irregular because they don't act like you would expect them to act. The things that you know about energy, suddenly they might do something different. And so if it's frozen, it's you usually can't find a polarity on them. Are you waving to me?
She's waving goodbye. Bye, Karen.
Oh, bye, Karen. If it's frozen, you often can't find a polarity. Usually can't find a polarity on them because the energy has gotten so either slow or stuck. It's just frozen, and it can be the polarity will show either strong, strong, or weak, weak, or it's just not a lot of energy left on it, and it's hard to access that energy so it can flow through to heal you. If it's submerged, you can't find any energy on it. It has gone way beneath the surface. It's deep in the body, and whereas it should be up to the skin level. And submerged could be around because it's a chronic problem you've had for a long, long, long time. And in fact, I would say it's in levels of how long something has been going on in your body. I would say submerged is the longest, and the next would be frozen. And reactive is very different. Reactive is when I always think of, because it happened to me once, is if, for instance, you go to pick up a suitcase and you expect it to be a certain weight, that you can just pick it up.
You expect it to be empty.
Yeah, maybe you expect it to be empty, and suddenly you go, oh, your whole body jerked. Everything in your body reacted. That's reactive energy. Now, it can be reactive on your muscle. It can be reactive on just certain meridians. It can be reactive, or so points along that meridian might be reactive. It might be reactive on an alarm point.
Right. But the irregular energies, I think, is the most difficult topic in the foundations here. And part of it is because they don't behave the way you expect. So, and there's a lot of different versions of that. And so what you'll find is that those of you that go on to year 2, that class 5 readdresses that and takes it, it's like in year 1, you were introduced to it, and it's a new concept, a difficult concept. In class 5, it will kind of pull it all together, weave it together, not so much introducing new material about it, although there will be some, but it's mostly going to really crystallize it so that you really get it. And also, I have to admit that the handout material around irregular energies, we just revised those, and we always make revised handouts available to our graduates, to our foundation graduates. So when that is available, you'll be notified of how to.
Great. So Stephanie is asking, based on what you just spoke of, is there a way to avoid having irregular energies in the body, or is that a part of life?
Just don't get out of bed.
And don't pick up suitcases. No. It is a part of life, but I will tell you something. What I have seen over the years, that people who work with their energies, just even doing the daily energy routine, over time, their body does not react as much. You aren't as reactive. It's just like, as you get older and maybe learn things, your emotions don't react as much. It's the same thing with energy. I can work on somebody now who, I was in Ashland, our hometown, not very long ago, and I worked on somebody who has worked with me for 35 years probably. There wasn't a reactive energy in her whole body. It just wasn't there. So that's what happens. But of course, if you're in a very, very stressful life and life shocks you a lot, life shocks you, you'll have more reactive energies.
Thank you. We're going to move on to a question from Nancy, and Nancy lives in beautiful Victoria, where we taught a couple of years ago. And she says, the question I would like to ask about is working with a transgender woman. I am particularly interested in whether procedures that tend to balance hormones will tend to throw the trans person's body back toward their original gender hormonal balance, or what? She has a bunch of question marks. Many trans people are on heavy hormonal supplements to keep them moving toward the gender they desire. Is there any danger of working against those supplements? What would you recommend in treating trans women or trans men?
Wow, again. First of all, I have worked with trans people a long, long time ago. I haven't in a long time, but I never found it to be a problem. What happens, especially even if they're on a lot of hormones, the body, you know, if they have made this choice, this decision, because it was theirs, because deep down in their soul they knew this is the right thing to do. I mean, there is so much intelligence in the energy system, so much intelligence in your hormones, that when you get aligned like that, everything goes towards the betterment of you. So I've never seen it not work. It helps. It always helps.
Thank you. We're going to move on to a question from Celia. And Celia says she would like to ask you, Mom, about working with pulsatile tinnitus in her left ear, so tinnitus. It started after a series of physical and emotional shocks from about 10 months ago. What she has been doing is working with triple warmer, bladder, kidney, and meridians that run through the ear. But she's wondering whether radiant circuits would be the best thing to add from class 4. Can they jump anywhere? With many thanks. So I would just like to expand this a little bit if you want to touch on, because that was for Celia, but for everyone listening, people do have trouble with their ears. They have ringing, they have pain. What are some of the best things, Mom, that you have done for the ears?
Well, Celia said some of the best that I have done, which is kidney and triple warmer. Usually are the ones that tend to help with tinnitus, and especially if it began with some sort of shock. It shows up on triple warmer and tinnitus. One thing I would do is, for everybody, if you take your middle finger and just literally find out, follow triple warmer points backwards and make little push-in circles. You know, I'm just pushing in and then going like that, right on the same piece of acreage, and go all the way around. And notice if there are places that hurt, that are really, really painful. If there are, just stay there and just push in and hold until the pain goes away. And down here underneath, what bone is that? That's not the mastoid bone, is it? What bone is that? It's underneath, right there. It tends to hurt everybody, okay? And I think it's because stress hits us. But if you hold it for a while, just hold it. Don't push too hard. You'll notice that it'll start lifting off, and you won't have pain there. Okay, now I'm just giving you everything I can think of because you've already covered the best things I know. But you are right about radiant circuits. Sometimes, like if that shock, I think you said it was a shock or a great stress that hit you, that it began with. I mean, triple warmer it's probably in reaction, because it's reacting to that shock that you went to. So anything you can do to really calm that down. I don't know if you've done neurovasculars here like this. I probably would cup my ear with pushing the fingers in really hard and holding a neurovasculars here and breathing deep. I would definitely be pulling my ears out a lot, all the way around, pulling my ears out a lot. I would, somebody, gosh, I'm just having a memory. Somebody a long time ago found that figure eighting their ears really helped. So, sometimes it can be gallbladder, okay? Gallbladder goes around the ear. And so it could be gallbladder, and you might want to sedate gallbladder. But boy, just keep your curiosity and keep exploring, because you'll find things out about your energy systems that you couldn't learn in a class when it happens to you.
Thank you. I have a couple of energy psychology questions for David. And so we're going to go through both of them. The first one is, in most counseling, you are not allowed to touch your clients. What about energy psychology? Can you reach out and touch them? Can you help them tap? In traditional counseling, no. So that's the first one, and then I'll ask you the next one, David.
Well, you have to know what your license allows you to do, what your state laws allow you to do. In energy psychology, first of all, you don't really have to touch the person, because it's more empowering for them to be doing the tapping themselves. So it's monkey see, monkey do. For the most part, energy testing is the exception to that. And first of all, in EFT, they don't do energy testing, not because of that, but I think that it's possible to do very competent energy psychology sessions without energy testing. I prefer to do the energy testing simply to find psychological reversals. It's possible for me to get over this, safe for me to get over this problem, that kind of testing. But that's the only reason that I really touch clients in energy psychology sessions. So you need to just find out what the restrictions are in your state, given for the platform that you're using. Sometimes having less licensing is better. So if you're a life coach providing these kinds of services, you may have less restrictions than if you're a psychologist. But it really varies state by state and license by license.
Thank you. And then the second question, and either of you can answer this. In energy psychology, there's a lot of light tapping. In fact, it's mostly light tapping. But in energy medicine, we do deep thumping. We thump our thymus and we thump our K27. And sometimes we say, you can thump real hard, and if it hurts, it means you need it. So can you tell us about those differences and why the light as opposed to the deeper?
Yeah, that's a very important distinction. It's a very important distinction.
Are you going to say it? So I suck.
Yeah, there are different energy points that require very different kinds of interventions. In energy psychology, you're using acupuncture points, acupressure points, and they require a light touch or a light tapping, whereas other points that are mentioned in the question are neurolymphatic points, which light touch has the opposite effect of what you want. They really need to be rubbed very hard to get the effect. Want to add anything to that?
That's really good. It really depends. I mean, usually acupressure, acupuncture, you don't have to be so deep. However, there's some, like the juncture point, K27, the 27th point on kidney meridian. I believe it will always work better if you go a little deeper, because it goes through all the systems, all the energies. It affects everything and makes sure that the energies are turned around and going forward. So there are some places that I really do think are deep, but usually with acupuncture points, you don't have to go so deep.
Yeah, and generally in energy psychology courses that are not informed by energy medicine, they don't teach you to go deeper on the K27 points. But you know, that one of the talks that we're doing a post-conference workshop at ASAP in May, where we will teach some of, it's called what energy medicine has to offer energy psychology practitioners, where we'll look at how an energy medicine informed practice could really make a difference for energy psychology therapists. And things like understanding homolateral is really key. Yes. There's lots of patterning that you can't just tap away. So that's a really good marriage, energy medicine and energy psychology. It's like
thank you. we have some questions coming in live, and if you do have a question and you're listening right now live, you can go to your little Q&A box. It's usually below on your screen, but sometimes it's up above. Look for the Q&A box and you can ask a question there. So one came in from, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Katya Misyak. And I'm sorry, Katya, if I did not say it correctly. My name has also been messed up my whole life, but it's okay. It makes us unique. She asks, what energy exercises or protocols would you recommend for women who have had a hysterectomy?
Oh, that's a really good question. Beyond all of the energy hormone things that I teach, I'd make sure I really gave them ileocecal and Houston valve. I'm sure I think you've had that in year one, because you want to make sure that all the organs in your body stay in place. And one of the things that the uterus does is hold everything in place. So the ileocecal and Houston valves are really good for that. I would massage the neurolymphatics on bladder, which is right down on your pubic bone. Neurolymphatics help everything find their place again. Gosh, yes, that's what I want to say. They help your body find its place again. So those are really important. I would do the belt flow a lot, and I would do the penetrating flow.
Right. We don't really emphasize energy medicine for women in the foundations here, but that's the reference guide for this.
Excellent, thank you. So here's one from Laura, and we get this question a lot on Facebook, also on YouTube. It's also a very important question that people ask online a lot, and that's about high blood pressure. So Laura says that she's trying to help her husband, and besides grounding or taking down the flame, is there another protocol or something that you would work with for very high blood pressure, she says?
Yes. I'm going to move you out of the way, David, so everybody can watch me. Okay. Just literally lifting your arms out very, very far and lifting them up over your head, turning your arms out. Now that was on a very deep in-breath, and then letting your breath out very, very, very slowly. Helps the blood pressure come down. Two more things that help the blood pressure go down. If you just take a deep breath in, now take 3, as long as you possibly can, to let your breath out. From your throat as far back as you can, and letting it out really, really slowly is good for lowering blood pressure. Another thing is, and a nurse friend of ours who worked in her husband, who is the doctor, his office, she did a little research with her son on holding neurovasculars. They'd take their blood pressure before and after, and they significantly would drop the blood pressure down. Okay?
It was his science project.
His science project is.
He got an A.
Excellent.
But they continued to do it in the office because it worked and teach people.
Thank you, thank you. So for 1 or 2 minutes, I'm going to take a sidestep and just mention year 2, because this webinar has more comments and questions about year 2 than any other. And it's really exciting because we love year 2. So Michelle Ernest, our Director of Education, wrote in, and she wants you all to know that class 6 is all about the hormones. So that's really exciting. Some things we've been talking about here. Angela Whitkey would like to know, is she going to get to meet you at year 2? Do you 2 show up?
Okay. Yes. I'm usually at 2, usually 3 of the sessions.
2 or 3.
2 or 3 of the 4 sessions I'm at, and I make myself very available and interact and do some Q&As in the classes and sometimes teach a class.
Yes, it's wonderful. We're going to try and have the whole family there as much as possible this year, which is really exciting. And then another question about year 2, and I find this one really important. It is from Stephanie. Stephanie R. I don't want to mess up your last name, Stephanie, so we'll just say Stephanie R. She says, my question is, would year 2 be worthwhile for me? I'm mostly into my own self-care, practicing on myself and my family. What if I don't want to be a practitioner?
You do not have to be a practitioner to go to year 2. I mean, the information that you will find out and the tools you will learn will benefit you and your family for the rest of your life. You will be so glad you have this information. And there will be times in your life, if you take year 2, that you want to impart some wisdom or tool to somebody who needs it. And you'll just find that it's natural. It's a way of life that you will really love, and I encourage you to come and feel right at home. Even if everybody else is there going to be a practitioner, I'll bet there won't be. I'll bet there'll be a lot of people like you.
Yes, and go ahead, David.
Year 2, a lot of people in year 1 think, well, this has been so good and so complete. What more could there be? And you'll be amazed how much more there could be, because bodies are complex, and we have the opportunity and responsibility to keep this machine in its finest form, and year 2 gives you a whole new dimension of ways of doing that.
Yes, thank you. And I would like to say, if I was going through the program, at this time in my life, I would not be a practitioner. I'd be working on me, my family, helping mom, helping my sister, and I will welcome you with open arms at year 2 when I see you. So come on up to me, and we want everyone to know that they are welcome. We want you there. Even if you're just going to work on your cat, we want you there. It's important. Yes,
As a matter of fact, working on, animals are so receptive. They are so quick, they're so fast, they're like a newborn baby in how quick that they respond. And so we've known people who came, in fact, we've had a couple of veterinarians who came to learn. And in this last year, we had somebody come and teach a class on how to work with animals. And so, no, it's great. Come for your cat.
Excellent. So here's a question from Doris Muramatsu. Doris M. What are the best energy exercises to maintain blood health? I have leukemia, and I have been in remission, but it is coming back.
Oh, gosh. Yes. Oh, I really do want you to have the information. One of the things, maybe the most important thing, is spleen meridian. You need to get spleen meridian strong. It works with the blood, stores blood. It's just so important. And our spleen energy tends to get weaker when we go through things. It just gets weaker because it's the one that has to metabolize all the information. But it's so important in blood. And secondarily, I would say kidney. But keep triple warmer. Keep triple warmer your friend, and not just the person who's trying to get you out of difficulties and danger.
Thank you. And here's another one that you know, when people are working with their health challenges, we know how hard that can be and so frustrating. So here's one from Katie Marianne, and Katie says, well, I am waiting for insulin to work to bring my blood sugars down when the pump has failed. I have to walk really fast or exercise really hard. Is there any EEM technique, protocol that can help me at those times? What if I can't exercise really hard at those times?
Well, you know, even if you run out of energy, immediately, you don't have, not quite a hookup, but one hand on your neurovasculars and one hand on your second chakra, and just get as quiet as you can until, I mean, again, this is about the blood, pulling the blood back up into your forebrain, but because spleen is so involved with the blood and with blood sugar and insulin, it's very, very good. You could also then, after a while, move your hand from your second chakra up right over your spleen and pancreas. Put your hand right on them and hold. Holding above the ears is really, really good. Okay, so if you held here for a while and then go down, put your hand over your spleen and pancreas, and I guess I would do it like this, because the spleen is very, very receptive and reactive to hormones, by the way. So if you put your hand here, getting your neurovasculars, and then your finger right on the top of the crown chakra, that really helps your hormones. Okay. Wow. I guess I have a question for her, so I might take it further. Can I ask a question, Dondi?
Yes, yes, you can.
I just want to know if this has been a long, how long this has been going on, or if this is short, or is this a habit to change, or, yeah.
Okay, so we'll see if she writes in,
Okay.
And for any of you writing in, you can write in on the Q&A box. It's usually down on your screen, so look for it. You can hover your mouse and sometimes it will pop up. Look for that and we will, okay, Katie answered already.
Right.
Katie says since 1999.
Okay, Katie, that means you've got a habit going. And when you have a habit, you really must work with triple warmer. And if you work with triple warmer with your penetrating flow together, you can start with doing a triple warmer smoothie, but then just go in depth on triple warmer, maybe even going very, very slow and noticing where you hurt on the points. You don't have to know exactly where the acupuncture points are. The energy is stopping someplace wherever you have pain. Open that flow all the way, and myself, I would be tapping around my ears. Okay, remembering tapping around your ears is triple warmer, and gallbladder makes the new decisions and sets plans in order. So if you tap around the left side, you might start putting in some new information into your brain and into your meridians of I'm no longer having problem with trying to get my insulin started, or but put it in your own words. On the right side, my insulin, my insulin flows into my body easily, but put the positive on the right. On the left side, the negative, positive on the right. Tap it in every now and then come down here and tap on K27 afterwards. Okay?
Excellent, thank you. We have about 15 more minutes, so I'm going to have the questions keep coming. I'll get to as many as I can. We have a big stack and some are coming in live. This one is from Tanya Sosiskian, I think is how you would say her name. How do I identify the spot for the electric point over the heart ventricle?
Okay, here's the easiest way. Come to where the armpit starts. Let's see if I can show you on me. Come to where the armpit starts, and then, well, I'm just going to have to show it to the nipple. Armpit to nipple, okay? It's right in between. It's right, for some people, it's right where lung begins. For some people, it's right next to it. But it's on you, since we're all a little different. Go right in between those two places. For me, it's right there. And it hurts on me. I'm going to tap it away. Okay.
Thank you. So June Scott is with us from Canada. Hi, June. And I believe this is a student of hers. Leona would like to know how to prep her memory for class 5, as she's finding her memory isn't quite what it used to be. And we work with memory a lot, and Eden Energy Medicine is so good for memory. So can you touch on that?
Yes. And hi, June. All right. The first thing for me, this is personally for me, and I know it's true for everybody. If you're getting any kind of brain fog and you need to clear it out, do the Wayne Cook posture a lot. Clear out the fog, and then do the memory technique. Everybody know the memory technique? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's it. You breathe 4 times deep in through your nose and out through your mouth, and move your hand this way. Do that every day. But if it's for a lot of people, the energy in their neck gets very tight and held so that the information doesn't come up to your brain. So what I would do is I would put one hand on the side of my jaw and one at the clavicle and pull everything apart. Just pull it apart. And then on the back, take your fingers, put them right next to each other like this, put them on the back of your neck, push in hard and pull to the side. Push in hard, go all the way down to your shoulders so the energy starts opening up into your head a little more. Okay?
Why are we doing this?
That was his joke. I'll tell you another thing that some people have told me. That, okay, if you, around triple warmer, if you just really rub around it, and you've probably done that at some time, or have you? I don't know. Rub around triple warmer is often good for that too. And another one, putting one hand back on the back of your head, one hand on neurovasculars, and just, you know, just clear, bring all the blood up to your forebrain, especially before you take any test. Make sure you've got all the blood in your forebrain before you take a test.
If you can remember all of that, you don't need it.
Excellent. Jennifer Nieto is asking about exercises for adrenals, and this is coming in live right now, or chronic fatigue. Both of those. What's your favorite exercise? Adrenals and chronic fatigue.
Well, first of all, adrenals are governed by triple warmer. So anything you would do for triple warmer is going to help your adrenals. But you can also go to your belly button, come up 1 inch and 1 inch out to the side and massage right there. You know, you can't see me, but just go to your belly button, climb up 1 inch and then out and massage there. Notice if you have tenderness there. Notice if you have tenderness there and you want to massage it. Okay. Put your fingers right. If you could poke through your belly button to the back side, that's where your Mingmen point is. And for a lot of people, there's tenderness around there. Keep that clear and open. I do a lot of the blowout. Get rid of built up stress in your body. And boy, again, strengthen spleen. Spleen is really important so that you're, I mean, if triple warmer becomes a radiant circuit for you, instead of just always being on the alert for danger, the adrenals go down. I had adrenal burnout before, so I know it. I know what this is about. And you've got to make your body, your whole soul, self, spirit, everything feel safe. Make yourself feel safe.
Thank you. All right, Sarah Wayland, I see you, Sarah. And Sarah says she is wondering about, and Mom, that I know you could talk about this one forever, but we need to keep it kind of short. Any tips or suggestions for how to best manage picking up on things, feelings, emotions, physical symptoms from other people without causing distress on health issues in her own body? How can she fine-tune this ability and be able to engage with others without being overwhelmed by others?
Okay. Now, first of all, you've got to know that what you've got right there, that ability, I'm going to say, of taking on other people's energies, is a gift. It is a gift if you can balance it and keep yourself in all of it. Because when it gets balanced, then you just have natural compassion and you don't give yourself away, but you absolutely empower the other. And so so there's a lot of different ways. I mean, you know, the zip up, you know, the Celtic weave. For myself, when I became so vulnerable in this way, and I mean, I literally lost my aura. I did. I had no aura to protect me. But to get my aura back, I took a magnet, and maybe you've already had this in year one or not. I'm not sure, but put a magnet on a dental floss, and I would spin it out into my magnet, out into my auric field in every direction, to the side, the front, up and down, every which way. So I started building an electromagnetic field in my aura, and that became imperative. That was like, I could not do that every day, because at one point I was picking up all the electromagnetics of the man-made electromagnetics in the world and in the earth, and it really, really debilitated me. But here I am with a strong aura, and I mean, I did all that. I'll tell you one other thing, because I was somebody who picked up the electromagnetics of the earth too much. And when I would be asleep and really unconscious to anything, I would pull it through my feet, and I would feel electrocuted in the night and wake up by 3 in the morning and have to get out of bed. I felt like I was electrocuted. I took a magnet on both of my feet. I put it on K1, and since the bottom of your feet is a south-reaching pole, the earth is north, so you put a south and north, they really, and so the earth pulls up the energy. That's what you want normally. But I was so out of balance that it was frying my circuits. So I put the magnet with the north side reaching out toward the earth. I taped it on my feet, and the north side reached out, and it repelled that energy that I didn't need in my body, so I wasn't being electrocuted anymore. So much of what I teach, it came out of curiosity because I couldn't figure something out. So you can start, just follow your curiosity and I wonder if this would work. I wonder if this would work. Okay, now see, I just did that with my fingers, and I'm telling you, just doing something like that shifts your energies. I mean, it's all shifted.
Right. And chapter 11 of Energy Medicine also addresses this to a degree.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lynn Stanley is asking about spinal cord injury, and if you can speak to that. She wonders, is it possible to help someone with a spinal cord injury at T11 to stop the nerve pain they have in their feet? Is it possible to help an injury in the spine to heal properly? This injury specifically happened about 7.5 years ago, but you can speak to all spinal cord injury.
Okay, as long as the energy is still flowing on the spine, you can be helped. It was in a different place on T4 and T5, a really bad injury once, and it lasted until I could figure that out and get the energy moving there. But on T11, yes, through all sorts of ways, you can stretch the energy around the spine in that area. You can pinch it. You can, I'm saying this without seeing the person. I like to see the energy when it deals with the spine. But you can, and I don't know if the person gets hurt when you do the neurolymphatics along the spine. If you've tried the Hopi Indian technique, these things affect the spine. I have been told by countless people who had spent much of their time 2 or 3 times a week in a chiropractor's office that they eventually didn't have to keep going to a chiropractor because all the muscles and the energy around the spine began to align, and so the spine began to align up. So, I mean, you absolutely can keep bringing healing into an area. And so, again, it's like, try everything that we teach and that and then get curious. And get curious. Figure 8.
Thank you. Here is a very practical question, and we actually have this often at our inner source resource table when we're at workshops with the Tibetan eye exercise chart, and this comes from Nancy Cooley. Is it important to use it with the blue paper and the red dot, or can one use it as the black and white version? Very practical.
Oh, very good question. I will tell you that the blue and the red help the process because it affects the different cones in your eyes. The color actually does. But I've known teachers who just ran them off and made white copies, and it still helped people. It still helps. It's just that the color is just an added bonus.
Great, thank you. So we are coming to the top of the hour. We have a lot of questions that did not get answered, and I apologize to all of you. I still have a stack of papers here. I am going to give you one more question here at the end, and then we do want to talk a little bit about year 2 just for a couple of minutes because we have a lot of questions about year 2, which is fantastic. But for this last question today, this is from Kate, and she says, can you just go over the vortex revival a little bit? Is it just counterclockwise at the feet? Is there more?
Isn't that something that just counterclockwise does so much? But what I would tell you is somebody that you would like to do the vortex revival to, stand at their feet and just start, you can use both hands and start going very, very slowly in a counterclockwise way. Most people I have ever known who stay with it, oh my gosh, something is happening. You feel it fairly fast and it goes up the body. And what you can do, you can find out where that energy has been taken up the body. You can energy test it at a certain place and find out if it's reached there. And then you can keep going and keep going. Yes, counterclockwise, because it brings up the yin force. And the yin, and I will tell you, okay, this is an exception, but I will tell you that I have, and because we're all different, it's usually just counterclockwise. But I have known people who, now this goes back to the very first question, so I'm really glad this question came up about transgender people. I remember I went both ways on a transgender person. Okay, counterclockwise, and then I did clockwise next.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I want to touch on a couple of things just about life. People are writing in and saying, where will you be this year? And let's see, we have one from, and I don't know if it's Len or Lene. This is from Denmark. She says, are Donna and crew by any chance coming to Europe, Sweden, Denmark in 2018, 2019? Well, what we would like to say is that we may be in Europe early next year, 2019. We might be in Ireland and we might be in Switzerland. We have not really solidified those contracts yet, but we're looking at them seriously. So those are the areas we would probably be in. Also, people are asking about your schedule. The very best place to find out about Mom and David's schedule is on our website, learnenergymedicine.com. learnenergymedicine.com. Our staff does such an incredible job at keeping it updated. And if you're on the East Coast, we're coming to Orlando. We'll be in Orlando the first week of May at the ASEP conference. David and Donna will be keynote speakers. I will be teaching, and it's going to be at this incredible Disney resort, so that'll be a lot of fun. So get in on that. The early bird ends on the 29th. So ASEP, look it up on our website, or you can just Google it. And then for year 2, and Mom and David, you may want to jump in here. A lot of people are asking what it's like. How many people are there? How many men are there? Well, let me talk about the men for a moment, because we love our men and we're always trying to bring in more men. So come on, you gotta have your husbands here. Get your dads here and your sons here. A couple of years ago, we had about 15 men in year 2. That was incredible, with a couple of real young guys. I think they were around 20 years old. This year, we only have 3 men, but it's fantastic. And they're brilliant men. One has been coming from Japan, another one from the East Coast. It's really, really great too from the East Coast. And one year, one of our men got married to one of our women at year 2. They met each other at year 2. They're married now, and they're very, very happy. Diana McKeon, that's you I'm talking about. So we do get some men. We want more men, and we need your help to do that. How many students are in year 2? We never know. It's a range. We've had everything from about 90 to usually 120, 130. There were some years that went higher than that. What I love about year 2 is you get people from all over the world. We have a mix and mingle lunch where you have to pick a number and you get to go to a table with new people that you've never met. And these relationships build. In fact, I'll just use my cousin as an example. My cousin went through the program this last year, and now she is bonded with a woman from Australia, a woman from Missouri, and a woman from Tucson. And this foursome is going on, they're in year 3 now, they're going to go on to year 4 together. And she said it's the most incredible bond she's ever had with women in her whole life. And she's in her 50s. So the bonds, the men, the women, this incredible movement and vibe and tribe of people coming together with like minds. And you get to speak triple warmer, and you get to speak spleen, and you get to speak liver, and no one thinks you're nuts. It's fantastic. Mom and David, you have anything to say about year 2 or our men or your schedule or anything else before we sign off today?
Well, I just want to say, whoever comes to year 2, I'm going to love to connect with you and know you. And year 2 is amazing. I mean, it's mind-blowing. I mean, people feel like this is their tribe. And it's like, whoa. And Donnie talking about speaking liver and spleen. I mean, yes, there's a language that everybody gets into, but it's really fun. And men, hey, there's a man luncheon. Only the men can go to. Man lunch.
And they get to go to the darkest room on the campus in Arizona. It's a true man cave.
and it's a beautiful place to go to. It's not like a hotel. This is like, I mean, so much land, and these wonderful little houses are out on the land, and it's amazing, with the most beautiful sunsets you've ever seen. But you really do love everybody. You fall in love, and it's magic. It's magic, and you really learn. And as over and over and over, people tell me, I now have my best friend. I've never had a best friend like this in my whole life. It's amazing, the relationships.
Yeah, and it's an incredible learning experience. We're just so, as we go through and just see people at lunch or in the hallway, how's it going? It's just so fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's not just what they're learning, it's like it really is, there's a tribe kind of quality. It's a wonderful experience for people, very uplifting for their spirit, as well as really giving them a profession or giving them a set of tools they can use for the rest of their lives, or if they're already in a healing profession, just really ramping up their effectiveness in the work they do. So we hope that you will really consider coming to year 2, and we're thrilled that you've come to year 1. We are really proud of year 1, and year 2 is different because you're all gathered in the same place, and that's I know that means more travel for people, but it also means that we can get a spirit generated in a kind of a mass of people that you don't get in year 1, and yet we keep the intimacy through small groups. So it's really quite an adventure.
So I hope to see you there. And if I don't see you there, like Donnie said, we'll be in Orlando. We do travel, and maybe you'll pop in to where I am sometime. I'd love to meet you.
Yes, yes. And in March, we'll be in Costa Rica. If you want to pop over to Costa Rica, we still have a few spaces open, I think. That's being done through Omega, and we'll get to look at poison frogs together. It's amazing down in Costa Rica. So thank you, everybody, today. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Karen. They are our tech angels behind the scenes. They do so much for this company. Thank you, Mom and David. Thank you to all of you faculty who are here. Thank you to the students. Thank you to Michelle, our Director of Education. We are so blessed to have all of you in our lives, and this has been a joy, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carrie and Karen and Gandhi. Thank you. Bye-bye.